Today, the topic is how to develop online-based assessment. Because when you teach as a teacher, one of the important component in teaching is assessment. Teachers use different forms, different tools to conduct formative assessment. And we're going to learn some of the tools online. They are free. Open a new browser, go to the top, just type kahoot.com. Come here, say sign up for free. Click on that. And then make sure you sign up as a teacher. Okay. That gives you all the features in the Kahoot. When you're in here, you just click on higher education. And you can use your Google, maybe continue with the Google, okay? Sign up with a Google email, okay? All right, so, here is a Kahoot. Let's go to the top right, and it says create, and click on that one. Okay, and first start, you type your question, okay? And I'm going to type my question, and let's say, okay, what is 2 plus 2? Okay, and then you see at the bottom, then I'm going to add some answer, okay? 5 over here, 4, which is the correct answer. So I need to click on the circle, and here I'm going to put a 3. Another one is incorrect answer. So, and you can actually upload the images. Okay, so we create the first question, and we're going to go to the left, and you can let's add a new question. Okay, click on the question. Let's do a true or false and just for a while, okay, for change. So I'm going to do this one and type is like 3 plus 5 equals 8. You select true. All right, let's add one more question, okay? Click on that, add a question. And this time we'll still go back to quiz because it gives us multiple choice, okay? I'm going to add one more, okay? 5 plus 5 equal, and then I'm going to put 11, 9, 10, and 7. And then click 10, which is the correct answer in the future. I'm going to click on done on the top right, okay? And I'm going to give it a title, Math Unit 1, sorry, quiz. Okay, and you can put some description about this test. And I think that we're going to skip that. And I'm going to click continue. And actually you can test this, you can play now, but I'm going to just click done. Okay, you probably will see the first quiz you create, okay? It's there. And now with this create, you can either, if you want to add more questions, you can click on the edit, okay? Or you want to test it, you can click on the play. And here, there's a star, right? And then there's a menu, okay? There are some menu, you can share. If I click on share, you have to put it in email, so individually. Or if you have a group email, you can use this group email and you sign up your students and use that group email. Okay, I'm going to click back. Go ahead and click on play. And in the play, you can do challenge. If this is a group students, means you put your students into 3, you have 15 students in your classroom. You put them into 5 groups, right? And then, let them challenge each other. Then you can use a challenge one, okay? Who get the first answer correct, okay? And you can also use click on host, which I did at the beginning of this class. You can click on that and to practice. All right, so I'm going to have this new one in the URL, type Quizlet, and actually that search, then you can go to Quizlet Learning Tools and Flashcards for free, okay, or Quizlet.com. You probably will see a screen like that if you type Quizlet.com, okay. And again, on the top right corner, there's a sign up, okay. You need to sign up this Quizlet, okay, and provide the information, then you can keep on, going until you finish this, okay? So if you follow the Quizlet, sign up the process like you did with the Kahoot, and just fill in the information, eventually you'll come to this main page. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see the create, study set. In the very top, there's a menu. You cannot get started, then that's, but I'm going to start with a study set. I'm going to click on that one. And I'm going to close that, create a new study set. I say, okay, unit for math test. Okay, so I may have addition. I just type some description, okay? So I provided some information, basic information for my study set. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a bit. Fraction, I have to give a pretty good definition. Fraction. Okay, yeah, I got this one. Pretty bookish definition. A numerical quantity that is not a whole number, okay? You can create a new class, and we can just skip that for now, okay? So once you create this one, and you can share and put it into your, put it in your Weebly. If you have a teacher website, and you make it available on your website, and you require students to come here to practice, and they can even play on their phone as long as they can access your website. And it has a lot of options for you. You can also do as learn, so which is a question, what is a real number, right? And then you can go to the next one. What is a fraction? It should be a question, okay? Students can have an option, it's called write. So instead of they can look at this one, they can write, okay, this is a real number. And the other option is you can train them, they can use this to spell things, for example. Then the students will put here to spell fraction. And finally, they can do test. So this is basically the function of this flashcard. You can learn, you can write, you can spell, and then you can test yourself. So here, this is a unit for the math test I already created, right? And I want to know that how can I put this into my website? The way you do it is, first is if you look at this whole cards, they can use different function. But here is a developing tools. Okay? The one at the bottom, probably you have your email here, okay? Whatever your username here. You go to here, these are the toolbars, for here, this one, the last one, I'm going to move. Last one is, it has, if you see the last one as 3 dots, which is a menu, right? If you go down and look at this called embed, okay? Click on this embed, okay? But you need to copy this code first. So let's click on copy. So I copied once, and you can close, okay? And I'm going to create a new page, and I select standard page, okay? Actually, you create this one and name it activity by, and I click done, okay? And then I'm going to, once you create this activity 5, you click on build. You will put like a goals, an objective, description of that. And for this class, I only just include those assessment artifact, teach you how to do that, okay? Remember, you copy the embed HTML code, right? And if you look at the left side, your toolbars, kind of in the middle, there is an icon, it's called embed code. That's what you need. So I'm going to drag this over here, okay? When you drag over here, like you did with the PlayPosit, the movie, right? You copy the HTML, and I'm going to click on this customize, custom HTML, edit custom HTML, and then it just show the code box. I'm going to Control V. For the Mac, I think it's a butterfly V something. Okay, I click outside. That's your Quizlet. Let's publish first. Take a look. And I'm going to click on this link, web link, and go to more and activity 5. Here we go. This is and if I click on get started, you see at the bottom, it has a study mode. So the next one is learning. And I got it. Now it's a different one. What is a real number? So on and so forth thing, right? You can, what is a fraction? Then here is a definition, okay? And then I can change the mode to, let's say, flashcards. Then I can play, click to start term and term. That kind of, this is exactly the flashcard you can do. And then here you can, the last one is called a spell. Okay, so anyway, so this is actually, you can play and with the learning options, okay? So I'm going to close this one. And we have, actually we have created this one, but I want to mention that, remember the Kahoot? In Kahoot, there's no embed code for you to directly embed in this Weebly. What you need to do is you actually have to create a button and a link to the Kahoot. So I'm going to go through this process, let you see how it works, okay? The next one is Kahoot. So here's a Kahoot, and I'm going to do play, click on play. So this is my link at the top, it's my link. I copy this link, okay? Control V, I copy this one, and I'm going to, next one is I'm going to add a button down here. Let's choose a button in the page on the left. Is just right above this embedded code, this is a button. So I'm going to put the button over here. Okay, so I'm going to name the button, but click on button text. It's Kahoot test for unit 1. Okay, so I have this button. So, and the next is I want to click on this link. Okay, I have. So I'm going to directly go to the link, and it's a website URL. And I'm going to Control V, post my here, and click outside. All right, so I'm going to publish, see if it works. Click on my link, and I go to more, activity 5. And here is my Kahoot test for unit 1. So if I click on that, Kahoot has a limit. That is, you cannot have it directly to display in your Weebly. You have to create a button, but before you create a button, you click on the Kahoot play button, and then it bring up the Kahoot website like this one, right? And you can copy the link And then you go back to the Weebly button, you link to the button to that web page. So that's the way to make the test available for your student. All right, so the last one we're going to cover today is the Google form, okay? Probably many of you already know how to create a Google form test, but I'm going to go through it anyway, because lots of people just use the Google form to create questionnaire, right? And you can do the same thing, okay? So open a new browser called Google. It must be Google, of course. You log in with your Gmail, okay? Click on Google Drive. So I go to the very top. It says New, the left side. And in this new, there's a lot of apps like Google Docs, which you use all the time, and a Google Sheet, spreadsheet you can use. And the one form is called a Google Form, okay? And click on this, and I'm going to use a blank form. And the first is I'm going to make a title. Again, I say Math Unit 1, okay? And the next is we're going to add a question to it. So I add a question is 2 + 2 equal, okay. Option 1, I'm going to put 4, and then I add another one. This is 6, add another one. Oh, I'm going to delete this one. And this one is 3, and this is 5, okay. Then we're going to add a question, okay. We can add another one, because this is you keep on adding. So the next problem, we're going to 3 + 3 equal, and let's do the same thing. We're going to have 7, 6, 5, 4. Unlike the Kahoot, you don't need to define the correct answer here. You just put a multiple choice here, okay. Okay, now there are a couple of features here. If you click on each question, you can click on each one, and you can always come back to make a change, right? Next to the problem, there is a image you can click on, and then you can browse the image from your local drive. And another option you can do is, if you look at the bottom, okay, there's like this one. This means if you turn it on, the students, when they work on this unit, from question 1 to 10, they have to provide the answer for each one. Otherwise, it won't let them submit the answers, okay? So if you require every problem should be finished before they submit, you make this turn on, okay? Once you're done, then you can actually to preview it. Go to the top right, and one of these is called preview. You can click on preview, and that's a question. We created 2, and you can select this, and then you can submit, okay? So I'm going to close this first. The next is, let's look at is how can we make it connect to our Weebly. Look at this purple button on the top right, click on send. When you click on send, and below that, there's like several options. You can send this via email, you can send it via link, web link, but you can also get embedded code. This is what we want. So I'm going to click on that one. And if you look at this embedded code, and it has this embedded code, it has also option is you want how big this test window is, right? And it says 640 by 1056, which is pretty good. So I'm going to, this height, this width, pretty reasonable. So I'm going to click copy. Okay, so here is my Weebly. And remember, I have the page. I want to find my page, activity 5. And here's my activity 5. And today we learn how to create a Kahoot. And we put a button here because we cannot directly link to our Weebly. And we create a Quizlet, and that one can be directly linked to the Weebly by embedding the code. Now, the next we're going to do is where we try to do to link our Google form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this embed code underneath, okay? And I'm going to click on this customize HTML and edit HTML. And here is my code box. And I need to copy and paste and click outside. Now here is the Google form, okay? And I go publish and I click on that. And here is my activity 5. So I have 3 assessment tools created and they are become available in the Weebly, right? The first is Quizlet, Kahoot, and a Google form. Requirements is create a subpage under learning activity Weebly website and name it Learning Activity 5, which you did already. You can select one of the topic from your previous assignment, so you don't have to develop new topic, but you can use those topic and add assessment to it. And these assignments include 2, 3, 4, okay? Steps to implement the learning, copy the learning steps, and include a description of how assessment will be used and what will be assessed. This is what you need to add. You know, in addition, you copy all these things. This is what you need to do. For this assignment, we have some specific requirements, include at least 2 online assessments by choosing from Quizlet, Google Form, and Kahoot, okay? You can choose 2 out of these 3. Include at least 3 shallow questions. When you create this one, you want to include this at least 3 shallow questions in one of the assessment. Include at least 3 questions in deep questions in one of the assessment, okay? You can put, Google form and then 3 shallow, 3 deep. Then that meet the requirements, these things. To submit.
So do you want us to keep since we're kind of doing 2 different assessment types, do you want us to keep the questions the same so that we can see how they're done differently in each program? Or do you want us to make the questions different? Like 3 shallow questions for Quizlet would be different from the 3 shallow questions we would use for Kahoot.
Yeah, because it is related to the learning activity. For example, in this learning activity, students will first, learn the concepts, and then there's a Quizlet will be very appropriate. You can put there, and the question just ask them definition, 3 definitions. So these are the shallow questions. And after that, you will describe after they learn the concepts, I want them to apply these concepts, numbers, right, then there will be another 3 questions. Probably you either use a Google form, use a multiple choice, ask a little bit deeper, or use Kahoot to ask why and what those questions. So they make sure the assessment you have is embedded in this learning activity seamlessly, okay? And it also makes sense. It is aligned with the content you try to teach. First, you teach a concept, as I said, and then some 3 shallow questions with whatever the form of assessment. And as you cover deeper the content, and the deep types of questions will be asked. That is
okay. So I think I understand. So you use one form to ask shallow questions, and use a different form to ask more deep questions.
That align with the content you are teaching. So the students will
Right,
follow
right.
you, get it deeper
Right.
and deeper, not just to remember the concepts. Does that
Right,
make
right.
sense?
Yeah.